My first guest tonight says Democrats haven't learned the lesson of why they keep losing. Voters. Voters are simply sick and tired of them playing politics. Joining me now, the chairman of the Freedom Caucus, Congressman Mark Meadows. Congressman, great to have you with us. It looks like the majority leader has decided enough of the Schumer nonsense and those who are following him on the other side of the aisle.
Well, bravo for the leader. I can tell you that the American people, you're right, Lou, they're tired of this. They want to get down to action and make sure that we deliver. And the Supreme Court nominee, the president, couldn't have done a better job with his pick. Not only was it unanimous the last time, but his credentials are certainly impeccable. And yet, what we saw were Democrats coming out over and over again with their talking points that they had prepared hours ahead, so it didn't matter who they nominated. The American people can see through that, and it's time that we go to work on their behalf and not on behalf of those here on Capitol Hill.
Well, in your chamber, things are moving in, if I may say, odd ways. Meeting with Rand Paul, with Bill Cassidy, those senators today talking about repeal legislation and perhaps more. But what is going on? Where is the tax cut that the Republicans and this president promised? Where are they in the priorities? Where is the repeal? How could the Congress take 60-plus votes on repealing Obamacare and not have a plan and a proposal ready to go with this president who had promised to repeal almost at the same time, simultaneously, repeal and replace?
Well, Lou, you know, what we see here is, you're right, is there's a tendency to slow things down, whether it's on the House side or the Senate side. The American people want action. They don't want talk anymore. And so I'm here to tell you that Congressman Jim Jordan and I know he's a guest many times with you here, Lou, we're calling on our House leadership to go ahead with a repeal bill, to put it on the president's desk. Let's at least do what we did in 2015 when President Barack Obama vetoed that. There's no reason why we can't pass it through the House and through the Senate. We need to do it and act now. Enough talking. It's time for action.
You, the other members of the Freedom Caucus, many other members of the conference, I mean, I've got to ask you, Congressman, is the leadership in the House, are they just lazy? What is the reason for these delays? Why don't they have a plan, and why aren't they making sense here? And where is the tax cut?
Yeah, I can tell you that they're not lazy. They are working behind the scenes, but it's time to make a decision, Lou. And when you look at tax cuts, when you really look at coming and doing tax reform, I know I met with Chairman Brady today. I said it's important that we quit talking about this behind closed doors, that we have the debate, we have it out in open, and make sure that we take our case to the American people, because ultimately it is going to be the American people that we serve.
You know, in the old days, the very old days, irregular order meant not only having hearings and bringing people in, but doing so before the legislation was written and basing much of the legislation that is written on those hearings. A hearing now means the public gets to listen to you all interminably. And it's awful what we're watching this Congress do, given the promise of the Trump presidency and the Republican control of the House, the Senate, and the White House. I mean, it looks like somebody's trying to muck it up.
Well, we can't muck it up, and there are some that obviously are wanting to slow it down and say that, you know, we need to leave what we have in place. Yeah. But what we have got to do, we've got to act, and so we're calling on our House leadership to not only act quickly, but let's go ahead and get out. You mentioned Senator Cassidy, Senator Rand Paul. Senator Rand Paul has a very good plan that we met with today. We're taking some aspects, perhaps, of some of the ideas that were shared by Senator Cassidy, but looking really at there seems to be a coalescing around Senator Rand Paul's vision for a replacement.
Right.
I think that we're ready. We're going to introduce that. Members of the House Freedom Caucus will introduce that this coming Monday. And so when you see that, we'll have a repeal and a replacement vote. Let's have it in February, and let's put it on the president's desk so that he can sign it into law.
Well, great for you, great for the House and the Freedom Caucus, it's going to be interesting to see whether there is a current of influence running through Capitol Hill from Big Pharma, K Street, and whether that is playing any role in these delays and this ever so cautious leadership when it actually comes to getting something done. Good on you, good on the caucus and Senators Cassidy and Paul. So again, Mark Meadows, as always, good to have you here.
Thank you, Lou. It's great to be with you.
Thank you.